Hi guys, I'm James. Welcome back to my channel where I document what's occurring and what I'm up to here on my little allotment in Northamptonshire in the UK. I'm joining you today from my new polytunnel. Well, not new polytunnel entirely, but new covering on it. Came up and did that after work one day this week and was very surprised I managed to get it on in one evening. But I had left the cover outside in the sun for most of the day because my plot neighbour said it's so much easier when it's warm, and we've had quite good weather recently. So I left the new cover outside in the sun to get warm, and I do think it definitely helped. It made it a lot easier to get on. I would say the hardest part about the whole thing was obviously digging the trenches around the sides and the back so that you can slot the overlap in. But it seems to be a lot neater this time than it was before. And I did it slightly different. I had some bits of wood, so I've staple gunned the overhang to the wood and then buried the wood just to try and make it a bit more secure. It's just one of the cheap and cheerful polytunnel covers, but what I've noticed from them is these zips break really quickly. My last one lasted like a couple years, but what I've started doing, and I did on my last one, is this really strong Velcro, sewing some really strong Velcro down the side, and then also a bit that overlaps on the other part of the door. I've got that on both sides, so then when I zip it up I can also Velcro it shut, and it's really strong and really does the trick. And then I've also added along the top some Velcro to make some sort of canopy thing. So I sewed some Velcro onto this bit, and then so that will attach onto there. This will then go out like that. And then I'm going to do some sort of Velcro contraption for 2 sticks on the corners to sort of hold it up. So then when it's raining, you've got a little canopy that you can sit under, or when it's really hot, keeps a bit of shade on you. That's the plan. God, that's so strong, that Velcro. So yeah, new cover on, which was a big job. Happy I've got that sorted. And now I need to sort out what I'm actually going to have in here, because obviously I had loads of plants and seeds started in here, so I had to move them into the shack while I sorted all this out. So I need to see how they've got on in the shack overnight and if any casualties have occurred, and then move things back into here that I want in here. So obviously these are all plants that had to come in here while I sorted out the polytunnel. So they've been in here for a couple days and couple nights. So I think they're all right, to be fair. That's like mixed spicy lettuce stuff. That was spring onion. They're not doing a lot yet though. Some beetroots. I can't remember what else I've got in there. What have I got? Beetroot, parsley, chard in there. These I bought. So I've got like kohlrabi at the back, and then I've got red Russian kale here, Cavolo Nero here, and then I'm sure that was broccoli at the back there. Yeah, so I bought them in just because they looked pretty, and the seeds aren't doing much yet, so at least I've got some that are ready to go out shortly. Cosmos at the back there, and then what were these? Brussels sprouts, yeah. And then at the top here, so these are my small peas, the Kelvedon Wonder peas. They're doing really well, so they're going to go into the tall planters, those tall planters at some point. And then I've got a few chilies here. So they all seem to be doing okay. I have got more things at home growing as well. I've got loads of chilies, but they're not doing anything yet. I just don't think they get enough light or heat at home, so I might have to bring them here. But I think they're okay in here for now. The shack also needs a good sort out. It is a complete mess. There's Jack, he needs fixing before he goes out. It is a mess in here. I just kind of end up throwing stuff in here in the winter just to survive, basically. And I need to try and make it a bit more stable. because a lot of the wood is rotting and it doesn't seem very safe. So I want to make it a bit more fit for purpose. Any ideas on how to do so would be very much welcomed. I'm going to polyfill the worst of the wood for now and then put some more wood to like stabilize it a bit better, and put some sort of support inside just to push that bit of window up, and that should hopefully sort out the guttering as well. That's the plan anyway. If anyone's got any more ideas, let me know. That's going to be a big task. I need to try and get this makeshift brassica cage attached to the back of here, and I put my Brussels sprouts in there. So I need to move some of these bags out of the way so I can get in. Oh, blimey, that is heavy. And these are my potatoes. They're not doing a lot. There's one which has a little bit of green coming. I'm hoping that means they're all going to do that, but we'll see, won't we? Whoa. I did put the potatoes in on Paddy's Day, and it was really quite cold. We had a cold spell shortly after that, so I'm just hoping they've not been frosted and died. So what I did before, and I've done again this time, some of this bungee cord, I wrap it around the front of this through the like clip hoops so that it can't go anywhere, and then tie it tight around these like peg loops on the main polytunnel so it holds it back. So that's what I do for that. And then I've got a couple of these pegs, not pegs, sorry, garden stakes, which I did that in there as well with dahlia stakes, just to give it some support, hammer them in here, and then attach these to them so that it won't fly off anywhere. The ground's a little bit uneven, but I'm not too fussed about that. Maybe put a couple pegs on the front just to even it out a little bit. So I'm going to get these in first then. And it's just started raining. Got that up just in time. As you can see, there it be, ready for the Brussels, which are growing in there. I think Brussels, I can't remember what I'm putting in there, something anyway, maybe the Cavallero, because obviously brassicas, they all need covering or they get demolished. Anyway, I'll figure that out. That could be something for another video for you guys. I'm glad I got the cover changed when I did, because I had all that clear plastic along the top trying to keep everything dry, and it just collected everything and spilt everywhere. So I'm glad I got it done so nothing gets flooded in here. Plus it's so much lighter in here now. These are the stakes that I was saying about that I used to keep the polytunnel held down. So they're just dahlia stakes. I think they're from B&M, I'm sure, B&Q, one of them. And then they're just attached to the actual frame, and they've done a really good job because the frame's not gone anywhere, and others around the site have, and we've had a lot of bad storms. So yes, I suggest doing that. While I'm sheltering from the rain, let's see what I've got here. Sweet peas, they need to go out. Fennel, I grew that from seed last year, so that's going to go out soon. I got these alyssum. They smell amazing, and apparently all the pests go for these and leave your crops alone. I also got from the garden centre yesterday some lovage, because my friend is from Devon and he says about how they drink brandy and lovage there, and I've tried it and it was lovely. So I'm assuming this is what they use the lovage to make. So I'll try and make some myself. Sunflowers are starting to shoot up. In here, I've got some sweet peas. They're starting to do things. These are my, God, that rain. More Asturian tree cabbage and 9-star broccoli. More sweet peas. Nasturtiums are all coming up now. Parsley at the back there. Stock. My stock is doing all right. Right, peas, alderman peas. Yay, they're starting to come up as well. Good. They're the tall peas I planted. Right, what's in here? Okay. Nothing. That should be Rudbeckia, but they're not doing anything. Ooh, couple of little signs of life in there. Can't remember what they are though. Calendula, couple signs of life. Planted some pumpkins, crown prince. There, that was only the other day. They're not going to do anything yet. Some pumpkins around there. Some baby boo pumpkins, Jack Be Littles. More crown prince. They're not doing anything yet. What's happening in here? Nothing yet. That's crimson crushed tomatoes. And then dwarf beans, I think that was at the bottom. They're not doing anything yet. Hopefully, with a bit more sunlight, a bit more warmth, they'll start kicking off. It is coming down out there. Fair enough. See you later. This thing's great for watering in polytunnels and stuff, or seedlings. You can adjust how fine the mist is. I usually do like quite a fine mist, just so you don't pelt seedlings with water and destroy them all. So I recommend it. I went to the garden centre again yesterday because I seem to live there, and I got a Scotch bonnet. So, if you don't know, they're really hot. So I'm gonna make a proper spicy hot sauce with it. Nice. I've just brought my fig up to the allotment because we get a lot of sun here and it goes all the way through to the evening. Whereas at home in the garden, it's north facing, so the sun is gone by midday and it's just Arctic temperatures even in the middle of the summer. So every year it keeps trying to do little figs. As you can see, it keeps trying to give me some fruit, but then because it's so cold, it doesn't really take off quick enough and they just rot and die over the winter. So I thought I'm going to bring it up here and put it in the sunlight and hopefully actually get some figs this year. That would be good. I just had it, usually I put it in my little greenhouse at home, little like plastic, like that sort of plastic little greenhouse. Usually I put it in that at home, but this winter just gone, I just had it up against the wall with like cardboard and like polystyrene to cover the root ball so it doesn't freeze. So I'm just going to put it somewhere it gets a lot of sun. There we go. I think it looks quite nice there next to the pond, so it gets a lot of sunlight all the way through to the evening and warmth, because obviously figs are from the Mediterranean, so they're like full sun and heat. This one is a brown turkey. Yeah, brown turkey bush fig. So he should be happy there. And also I'm thinking when all the leaves come out, it will help shade the pond throughout the summer, because that pond evaporates quite quick when there's no rain. These are the propagators I planted basil in, parsley in, and some crimson crushed tomatoes. They've sprouted. I mean, the parsley has gone really leggy and just collapsed, so that's probably dead. The basil's hanging in there. Tomatoes haven't done anything, but I think they've got more chance here than they do at home. It just gets more sunlight here. So I'm just going to bring them in the polytunnel. And in these pots here, I planted these dwarf French bean Faraday. So I'm going to put some of them in my grand's rose planter and probably, well, in a bed out there somewhere. They're pencil thin, apparently, and they're dwarf ones, so they don't take up loads of room, which is good because I don't have loads of room. I'm just going to go grab a few watering cans of water because the pond is looking a little bit low because it's just been really hot and sunny and it's April and there's been no rain. So yeah, I don't want them drying out, and there is spawn in there. So yeah, gonna go grab them. Don't know why I've got my sunglasses on still. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot higher, especially over that side. Okay, that's my little flying visit done. It is Tuesday evening. Because that's riveting information for people. But yes, that's why I'm not going to stay for ages. Going to head home now. Cool. Ciao for now. The second bed has been built. So I'm just trying to fill it up. So I've got some leftover soil from digging the trenches around the polytunnel when I was changing the cover. So I'm going to fill it with that first and then put some fresh compost on. Might need a couple bags on it. I've just put one bag of new compost on, and then I'm going to sprinkle some chicken manure pellets and some bloodfish and bone through, and then put this second bag on. Sorted. Also at the garden centre today, I got some red-leaved lettuce. £3.50. I'm planting some from seed anyway, but they just look pretty. And it's always so tempting because they're just big and healthy looking. And yes, so these are going in here. There. 5 red-leaved lettuce. Nice. Gonna give them a water in. And then I've got these plastic cloches, which I'm going to put over them because it's right under the trees and the birds keep pooing over everything. So I'm gonna keep a cloche over them. Just put the cloche over just to protect it from bird doo-doo, basically. Going to put a couple of things on the ends just to stop anything climbing in the sides, but that should be all right. Sweet. I've been coming up, it's getting that time of year where it's not pitch black when I finish work now. Oh God, that bird made me jump. Yeah, so it's that time. It's getting to that time of year now where it's not pitch black every day when I finish work. So I've been coming up after work, getting little bits and bobs done. So I'll edit them in amongst, figure out how that's all going to work. But at least you can see what I'm up to anyway. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And press that bell thing so you know what I'm up to next. So everyone have a fab weekend, fab week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you next time.